Hello, hiya guys. Hello Martin, hello Sue, hello Caroline, hello Richie, hello Gillian, hello Liam Kerr. Go on yourself, lad. There's Liam Kerr. Gary, hi. Bruce, hi. How you doing? Bruce Hilton, of course. Derek, hi. Hello, Roy. How you doing, Roy? Roy Marks is watching. Pavel, how you doing? From Warsaw. My God, I've been to Warsaw. Hugh Beaton, Matthew Empson. Wow. Rennie Schwartz, lovely name. It's German, is it? Linz, Inglis, Mark O'Brien, of course he is, of course there he is. Sarah Stent, hello. Paula Gilbert, hello. Hiya. This is lovely, and it's been a while since it's been a while since I did this. I've been working on Sunday nights, and I guess I've just been trying to build a little bit of mystique, claw a little bit of mystique back. And the EP is out, so this is the thing. The EP is out. And it was funny listening to it getting played from on Roddy's show the other day. Good lad. And this is lovely at my stage in the game. You know, just without even picking up the phone, just basically putting in a text message saying, "Roddy, going to play this? Would you?" He's like, "Aye." Nice having pals like that, and I listened to it sitting here on the speakers that I made it on. It's great doing that. It's great when that kind of thing happens, because I just made it in here in this living room, and on these little monitor audio speakers that I've got. Lovely listening to it, and I'm happy that it's out. And I am looking forward to going to London as well. I'm looking forward to going to London, and being in the belly of the beast down there. I don't know how I used to live there, and I bet it's worse now than it's ever been. But I can't wait to go there. I can't wait to get down there and get into town, and play that lovely church that the Beatles had the photographs taken outside. I love that little church that I'm playing, and it's a piano. I think I'm playing a real piano. There's lots of things happening. It's a really great week this week. I'm putting in a bit of rehearsal time for it, and there's lots of great things happening. Namely this EP. So I'm going to play through it, and all of you wonderful people, I think, have asked a few questions. A few of which, in between the songs I'm going to sing from the EP, I'm going to answer, and I like the thought of that. I've kind of in the past been a bit wary doing Q&A, and for just for fear of getting kind of awkward questions. It's not so much the awkward questions; it's the fact that I'm an oversharer. I will say too much, but anyway, on this subject of the EP, I suppose I've just kind of chosen a few of the things that were asked the other night. So without any further ado, this is the first track from the EP, and it's the song that kind of kicked the whole process off for me. Feel Again. It's the name of the EP as well. It was the first sort of proper song that I wrote in this little flat, and it kind of got me back into it. Got a bit of confidence back. Rhythm of the Night was the first thing I recorded, but in terms of songwriting and actually me doing something, it was the thing. There's 2 tunes on this. In fact, the 3 tunes on this were the 3 first things that I wrote, and kind of got my confidence back. And the key with this tune is. And the key with most of the writing on this was that it wasn't about me. The first thing that I recorded was rhythm. I didn't have really anything to say, or I was fed up with what I was saying, and so I recorded somebody else's song. And this is about somebody else. It's not really about me. I'll come through in it, you know. I'll come through in it, and I can see bits, and I can see myself in it, obviously, because I'm writing it. But this is written about somebody else, and I tell you what, when the old when what's her name had her big state funeral, all the shops were shut, right, and I went into one shop that was still open just down the road from me, and I says, how come you're not shut? She says, I can't afford to shut. And we kind of chuckled, and as I walked outside, the bin men were still going. You know, and that nonsense was happening down the road, and the bin men were still out, and it's life goes on, and these guys and people that get rid of our crap and all of that. I'm really good friends with a guy that does that kind of job, kind of on a much larger scale, and I love him dearly. And and I took for inspiration my man and he's in the cab of his HGV, and this is called Feel Again. I feel the power on the back of my hand. Without fail again, get up so early, it's never ending. I did my time for you, you know I love you too, never ending. Stories such as this, I want a cherry kiss, I want it so bad. I grab the wheel again, then her feet again, white lines in front of me, I can't disappear, and live inside my dream. I will find my way home, leave a light on for me. It's all I have for me. Do what I can to keep a show on the road. Another drop again, I know I'm waiting for another load. The damages are done, there ain't no going back for anyone. And if you know, you know, and if you don't, it's gonna slow you down. I grab the wheel again, and then I feel again. White lines in front of me, I can't disappear, and live inside my dream. I will find my way home, leave a light on for me. It's all I ever need. I mean, it's not you, and you drive me crazy too. And you drive me crazy, it's not me, it's not you. You drive me crazy too. Oh, it's not me, it's not you. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So and listen, I've written this down and sort of printed out a sort of little program of what I'm doing and the questions. And I don't know who the questions are from. I'm not sure, but this one is. I've got kind of two. There's the first one is about songwriting, and I like answering questions right now about songwriting because before this cycle of songs, I hadn't really written anything. I'm constantly writing things. I'm constantly one of the reasons I love my phone is because of the little voice notes thing on it. It's full of ideas, but nothing finished for a long time. You know, I would listen to things and then I just wouldn't write for a long time. I'm talking about kind of years of really not writing. And so, does songwriting come easy to me? And I would say it's kind of yes and no. Once you get started, it's and that's the difficulty. The difficulty is just to stop, to start, and to continue while you're in a little loop of, you know, the idea is fresh. You've usually got about half an hour or something, I find anyway, where if I follow that kind of muse, I can finish it. A lot of the time I don't, and it just ends up just being a little thing on my. But does songwriting come easy to me? It would be kind of arrogant to say that songwriting comes easy to me, but I've written songs for many years, so I understand songs, I understand lyrics within songs. What I'm trying to do, I love songs and I love songwriting. So although I wouldn't say it comes easy but it's kind of what I've devoted myself to in my life. And I'm asked here, how long does it take to write a song? What comes first, the music, the words or the music? And I've been asked that an awful lot. And I'll tell you something, that what I find I have to do before, right, for example, Feel Again doesn't sound like that on the EP. Feel Again has lots of kind of bells and whistles on it and little noises and little production sort of stuff on it to make it sound like a lovely track. But before I can do that, I have to have written the song. The song has to be completely written and recorded, and then you can build it up on it. Because anytime I start recording and moving forward with something that isn't fully completely written, it's never any good. I always abandon it. So what comes first? Always the music comes first. Always the music comes first. Always a little thing, a little few chords on here, or on the guitar, and I usually sing along, and then I'll put words to it. So that is and it can take ages. It can take ages if, as I said, you don't kind of capture it and work on the song. Every song that I come up with could be written in half an hour or under if I was to just fucking do it, right? But I kind of tend to kind of go, that's a great idea, I'll deal with that later. In actual fact, the really strong ideas, I do come back to them because they're kind of like, you know, but they lie in a kind of vault of in a sort of, you know, a folder file on my phone, sometimes for years and years before I do anything with them. But I never forget them. Anyway, the second track, I'm going to just play it in order. The second track on the record is Oblivion. I've played this, I think, once on a live stream, but and live, I've played it a couple of times now. Oblivion is... I was actually beginning to wonder what it was about until I kind of started to kind of write little blurbs and things and you know. But this is about being away. right? This is about being away. When I was this time last year, when I went away into into a situation where I was out of contact with everybody. I didn't have my phone. It was quite a long period of time, and I was trying to change my life, and I was trying to change myself, and the experience of it was utter misery at times, and I guess that's what it's about. It's about giving in to a process that absolutely infuriates you, because there is no other way to survive. In actual fact, survival depends on the surrender. That's what the surrender is, and it doesn't say surrender to oblivion, because oblivion is obviously like, it can be like being completely out of your face, mangled or something like that. But it's surrender is true oblivion. So if I've ever looked for the truth in sort of more classic versions of oblivion, then the most truth I've ever found is through surrender to to a process that absolutely drove me mad. This is oblivion. And I Hello Cheryl, how are you doing? I hope you're okay, I hope you're well. Lovely, lovely. So I'm gonna I have two questions here. What equipment do I use to record? I use a MacBook Pro laptop. I've always used Apple stuff ever since 2005 or something like that. Back in the day where they were before Steve Jobs left us, they were the most forward-thinking, most original computer company, and for, I could get into trouble here with people, but for the kind of creative arts and the sort of digital artwork and music production, they're the best, and they're very expensive, and I'm very, very lucky to have the one that I do. And I use Logic software. I don't use the other one, Pro Tools. I never learned how to use it. I just and I don't really use I don't really use the I don't really sort of produce in a kind of really sort of technical way. I don't sort of I don't create the full thing here. I like to try and capture the performances and record the parts, and then I like to give it away and have it mixed by somebody with fresh ears. So, and I got a funny one here. What key do you like to play in? What key do you like to play in? A lot of people, if it means anything, I guess. I don't always write in the same key, but I do tend to write in. I'll tell you, my favourite key to sing and play in is B flat, and the key that I don't like the most is F sharp, because my fingers fall off the keys an awful lot, but when you play on F sharp, you're playing like all the black notes. Mainly black notes. There's so many black notes on there, and they're kind of, your fingers fall around there. Ironically, the first song that I properly learned on the piano was an F sharp, but I don't like it as a key. But I like B flat to write in, because B flat has F in it, and you can go to G minor, and it's lovely. It's just a lovely key to play in. I don't even know why. I think my voice is kind of a lot of the things, like for instance, Cold Engines is in. It's the 3rd fret on the guitar. I usually, a lot of the songs that I sing for work, I kind of put into that key. So I'm gonna play the. It'd be interesting to see who actually asked that question. I apologise. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. But this song again, right? This song is "Tell Him I Said Hi," and this song is about a friend of mine. Again, it was, maybe it's just at this stage in the game for me. There's more to write about in the life and the people that surround me, because not only have I lived a few years, so has everybody else that's in my life, but it's a good way of getting out of yourself. That's the thing that's in the way for most creative work, is your own ego and your own self-doubt and all that nonsense. And so to write about something else and to write about somebody else is really, really helpful and healthy. And this is about a friend of mine who is who means quite a lot to me, and who I've had some wild times with, and who also has some wild stories to tell. And this is a bit of a story song and a hopeful song, and it's about some people that, a sort of a group of people that are all my friends, that there's a few connections and a few sort of references made, but the thing I liked about this is it brings back in the Devil's Chord from the song of that name, the Devil's Chord, that was on Save Your Song. It's a horrible chord, really. It's the Devil's Chord. There's a room in hell where they just play that over and over. It's you know, actually, it's not so bad, but it's a kind of seventh-y kind of weird thing, but there's a couple of notes that work against each other. But my friend, the thing I forgot to say about this is my friend who I wrote this song about, the reason that I did it was because he texted me one morning. He's really, really cool. He sends me like, check out that song. And he sent me a song by Harry Nilsson, The Lime and the Coconut. And you can see how come, right, where I'm going with this. He just went, write something that feels like that. And that day I took the challenge of it, and by the end of the day I had written this tune and kind of recorded a little demo of it. So that's where it has that little bass drum on there, because that's what The Lime and the Coconut does, and I think it's in kind of the same tempo, and it's supposed to it's inspired by that. That's inspired by, you know, that's how it works. That's how it works. This is called Tell Him I Said Hi. I like chucking myself down the stairs. I wake up with my belly aching. That's when I know I can let you go. Tell them that I said hi, that I love the very bones under his skin. Send my love here from the mess I'm living in. And I'm sorry for the time she hit the roof. Should it need me, I'll be there. She's got the proof. I'll put you on your backside in the rain. If you ever embarrass me in front of my friend, but then I'll call to fix it all the very next day. I'll hold you to the promise you made, to sing the songs of happiness and praise. And then I know I can let you go. Tell them that I said hi, that I love the very bones under his skin. Send my love here from the mess I'm living in. And I'm sorry for the time she hit the roof. Should it need me, I'll be there. She's got the proof. Anytime we'll come together Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Hello, Linda Cusack. Hello, Billy Clark. Hello, Robin Mainstone, Angela Messino, Callahan, and Stuart Todd. Hello, 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 hello. And I'm grateful for all of these little hearts and all of this and all of your belief in me and all of your time and that you put into me and that you love my music. Thank you very much. It really means the world to me. Do you need to be in a certain mood to write? I'll tell you something, right? So you kind of do, when you're writing, you kind of have a window, and for instance, I'm writing now, right? Or I've written for the last few months with the end being the release of this EP firstly, and sort of depending on how that goes, I guess the release of more. And so I gave myself, right, I want an album, and so I want an album's worth of songs, and so I write them, and when it gets to the point where they're done, then I'm probably not writing so much anymore. Then I'm playing them and sort of learning about them and how to play them. And I don't really write. I think that's the way I do it. And what's happening at the minute is, if there's a need for a song, if, like, for example, like, it's a bit like just now, there's sort of 10 songs over here for the record, and there's 4 on this EP, and I keep kind of like getting it down exactly to what I'm doing, and then I might just kind of go off one, and then I'll think, oh, I need another. There's a space now, so then there's one of them that I have that has no lyric. I've still to write, and I just kind of cherish the day when I will do that, and just sit and write the lyric for that song. But so yes, the mood is to be I guess motivated and to want to do it, because if it's becoming a chore, there's no point, because what you're going to do is going to be rubbish. So what brings me inspiration? People bring me inspiration. My children bring me inspiration. They really do, and my and I guess it's maybe testament to my vintage, that I kind of listen more to podcasts now than I do to music. What kind of inspires me? It's like, for example, like the hearing again. My son is into Nirvana. He thinks it's the greatest band that the world's ever produced, and they recorded the greatest album that was ever. And behind my sort of chuckle of, well, I remember when that was first on the radio and all of that stuff, and the fact that he may well be right. Listening to those songs again inspires me, because it reminds me, that way that when you hear In Bloom or something like that, it just, you feel the way or something, or a little shade of the way that you felt when I heard it for the first time. That inspires me, and also, like, listening, like, at the end of Roddy's show, he played Tupelo Honey by Van Morrison, which inspired me to listen to more Van Morrison, and that really helped me with one of the songs, because I realised what I was going to do with this particular song, which I'll let you hear at some point, was to make it sound like a Van Morrison song, and it just was the absolute key, and that was inspiration for it. So that's kind of how it works for me, anyway. So the last song on here, the last song on the EP is The Rhythm of the Night. And this is a bit of a kind of amalgamation, or a bit of a coming together of two worlds that kind of, in one sense, kind of clash. I've been lucky most of my life to kind of just do original music. I never spent an awful long time doing the kind of cover circuit or anything like that, or doing what I do now, basically. Now, kind of at this stage in the game, that's what I do. And so like so I play at piano bars and things like that. And that's a great audience, you see, because sometimes I get really nervous going there, because it's just, every night is different. There's a different atmosphere, because there's different people, and they're all in for different reasons, and they're all drunk in different ways. And so every night is very, very different. And this is basically an example of a song that's sort of in the run up to lockdown, and throughout lockdown, and afterwards, as we kind of started to get back in. I really learned how to play the piano again, and I got back into a whole kind of part of myself that I had kind of abandoned, for right or for wrong, by standing and singing and doing something completely other than this, something else. And this is this song I like, because I love it because it reminds me of going to John Street Jam, as it used to be on Cochrane Street in town when it was out. This would be playing Rhythm as a Dance. All of this music was out. It was kind of at exactly the same time as Oasis was out. It was very. It was, and if you wanted to get into the club, you had to wear a horrible. You would go out trying to look like a big guy, which was to wear a sort of horrible kind of felt jacket with 90s shoulder pads that you'd got for next to nothing, and you'd go into John Street Jam, and this would be on. And this doesn't sound anything like the tune, but the tune, I think, is so lovely. It's so sad. It's such a sad song about somebody that just is kind of realising that what they've had, the love that they've had, is over, and they don't want it to be, and they don't want to be left behind, and the only thing that they've got is the dance floor. And this is a song I love. It's called The Rhythm of the Night. Sunshine in an empty Sing that song to me, no reason to repent. This is the rhythm of the night, the night, oh yeah. The rhythm of the night, this is the rhythm of my life, oh yeah. The rhythm of my life. This is the rhythm of my life, my life, oh yes. The rhythm of the night, this is the rhythm of my life, oh yes. Rhythm of my life, rhythm of my life. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have a couple of questions left to answer. Do I write mainly on piano or on guitar? I absolutely write on both of them, and I write on both of them at the same time often. The last example of that is a song that I actually mentioned it. I haven't written a lyric to it. It's just called Big Star type song. It's like it's a lovely big sort of song. I started writing it on the guitar, on acoustic guitar, and then very, very quickly moved over and started writing the next bit of it, or what I had done on the piano, see how that happened, how that sounded. I write on both of them at exactly the same time, but I am very, very sort of, I'm really absolutely bound to the acoustic guitar. I don't really play the electric guitar or anything like that. I'm not very great at that anymore. I used to be when I was younger, but I like these kind of very basic sort of songwriting tools, and I just use them to write on. But yeah, I must say that I've written an awful lot on the piano. But if you whatever you're doing, if you're on it for too long, you get fed up with it. So you change. And would it be possible to put some of my lyrics online with chords? I guess that's possible. I think that's probably a conversation with somebody when, you know, the songs are properly published. But for the time being, what I can do is I have a plan to sort of have the lyrics to this EP in a sort of lovely sort of written form, and signed and sort of available for whoever wants that. Right now, while you can't find it online, I did see one of my songs from years ago called Maps in a guitar tab book. I have it in the house somewhere, but I didn't look it out. But I don't know why that one is in that book. It was alongside Alicia Keys and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to have the lyrics to this sort of nicely sort of drawn up and signed. If you're into that, we can do that. I guess it remains to say that, you know, the next thing on my agenda is the St Pancras Old Church gig. I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited to get down, my train journey down, my little hotel down there, and seeing everybody from the London and all that. I hope that what do I hope for? I don't hope for anything. It's happening. I don't need to hope for it. It's going to be great. I'm gonna be there with Seafoam Green. They're gonna be supporting. It's gonna be a fantastic time. I can't wait to get in there and play that piano. So I really hope I've answered. I really hope I've answered the questions sort of well enough, or you know, and you know, let's do this again. Let's do this again. I will see you. Anybody who's coming to the gig down in St Pancras. Somebody just texted me there. That's why I lost the thread of conversation, because somebody just texted me. But listen, I'll see you on whoever's coming to the gig. I'll see you at the gig. Thank you very much for everything, all the lovely things that you're saying about the EP, and you know, I'm grateful the EP's out there, mainly because because it's something for you, from me to you, and yous have all believed in me, and really all I want to do is kind of show you and give you something, and keep on working and saying, you know, I'm still here, and I hope this is great, and this is something that you love, and because why else would there be any fun in releasing music if there wasn't anybody there that was going to listen to it? I'm very, very blessed with you guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for this, and I'll see you next time around, and I'll see you at the gig. Anybody's coming. Good night.